Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to 9-star 412 on the 2.4 patch on Spiral Abyss 12. Keep in mind, I highly recommend you have two really good DPS with good artifacts and talents and a good weapon. Because this Spiral Abyss, in my opinion, is pretty difficult, especially for the underlevel players, due to the fact that you need a shield character for one of the stages. If you are struggling, I highly recommend bringing a separate team for each stage to not stress yourself out. But today I'm going to show you the two teams that I used without switching, and I will also... Okay, for the first side, I will be bringing HuTao, Jin, Zhongli, and the Raiden Shogun. Here's her weapon. Artifacts. For constellation, it's C1. Her talents. And her overall stats. Second character is Jin. Her weapon. Artifacts. Using a Verdantin set on her. Constellation free. Talents, all maxed out. Overall stats. For character, Zhongli. Weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 0. Talents. And overall stats. Fourth character is the Raiden Shogun. Weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 2. Talents. And her overall stats. Okay, for the second half, I will be bringing Ayaka, Diona, Shenhe, and Xinqui. Her weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 0. And her talents. Overall stats. Second character is Diona. Weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 6. Her talents. Her overall stats. Her character is Shenhe. Weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 0. Talents. Or overall stats. And the fourth character is Xinqui. Weapon. Artifacts. Constellation 6. Talents. And his overall stats. Okay, so first off, it's the mechanical array. This enemy is a bit trolly. The fact that it can go up in the air. The only thing that I can find is Zhongli's ultimate. It's the only elemental skill that can hit it in the air. So what I did is bring the Raiden Shogun elemental skill, Jin ult, and Jin elemental skill, Zhongli ult, just below everything on it because it's the first wave because you can get your ultimates and all that stuff. So as long as it doesn't go up in the air many times, you should be able to beat it. You're gonna see it right here that you can use Zhongli's ultimate to do a little bit of damage when it's in the air. So as long as you get it to at least half HP to 45% HP, you should be able to freestart this. Because right about now, he is going to summon the 4 Ruined Sentinels. And it's random what the circle is going to be. So once he summons them, just look for the circle and go after that. Some of the Ruined enemies are a bit trolly due to the fact that it takes a while to get up. The Ruined Cruiser, in my opinion, is the squishiest of all 4 of them. So once you take that out, be careful. You might get stuck. And trust me, I have gotten stuck because they kind of group together. And once you take it down, all 4 of them will go down. And you will get stuck, and sometimes you have to go around, which is very unfortunate. But Once it's down, basically just DPS it down. It does have a invulnerability. It does get up, and it's a bit annoying because you have to wait like a couple seconds to damage it again. Here's a clip of an example when if you don't do enough damage when it's down like that, it will go up and you won't be able to damage it for a couple seconds. Okay, for the second half, it's free Geo Rift Hounds. It's pretty simple. They charge at you, so what you want to do is freeze them when they're together. You might be able to get all free sometimes too if you're unlucky one. So I blew that Ayaka ult so I can get that AoE damage. Once that's down, it's one Denjo Simulacro, a Pyro Abyss Mage, and the new enemy, the Pyro Abyss Lector. So I recommend going after the Denjo Simulacro first because he will summon those forms and it will get in your way. So once you take that down, go after the Pyro Abyss Lector and try to AoE the Pyro Abyss Mage's bubble. Also, try to group them together, but unfortunately I did get unlucky here, but it's whatever. So as long as you have about 725 to 720 seconds on the clock, you should be able to beat this with 3 stars. As long as you have a Hydro character, as well as like you stay in his face because he will summon that catalyst beside you. So once he does summon that, it'll be right beside him, so you can take down the catalyst and him, so you can do double the damage. So as long as you keep like vaporizing him, you shouldn't have any issues. If you do have the luxury of Mona or Tartaglia or heck even Barbara, this is a very good stage for them to like take down the Pyro Abyss Mage along with the Pyro Abyss Lector. And there you have it. 3 stars on for 12-1. Barely got it there, but we did it. Okay, for Chamber 2, first half, it's the Primal Geo Bishop. It's the Pyro version, so my HuTao is not going to do as much damage. This is why I brought the Raiden Shogun to this fight, so I can like overload him and do a decent amount of damage. So one of his moves, he summons a like molten lava move. So as long as you have a shield on, he will hurt himself. There is a pop-up for when he's about to do it. So I like to keep my shield up all the time. As long as you keep your shield up and like DPS him, you shouldn't have any issues because right about now he's about to use his molten lava move, and he will hurt himself right here. There you go. So he's at half HP. So like I said, like you can just bring like all out DPS team and you shouldn't have any issues. Like as long as you have like good time on this side, you shouldn't have any issues facing the Abyss Heralds on the other side, because the Abyss Heralds can be a bit trolly on the second side because sometimes they won't like group together. Okay, for the second half of Chamber 2, it's just 2 Abyss Heralds. So what you want to do is just permafreeze them. I highly recommend bringing a Cryo team for this floor, because you can just permafreeze them when they're in their shield form. So that's why I brought Diona, Shenhe, and Xinqi. Xinqi's pretty useful when they don't have their shield form, because you can freeze them. As long as you group them together, what I'm trying to do right now, you shouldn't have any issues as well. Just a heads up, be careful of their spin move. It hurts, and they do it for like 3 or 4 times. So once they're in that shield form, they will have the Hydro effect on no matter what. That's why Ganyu or Ayaka is really good, because you can just basically permafreeze them. Ganyu is very good in the stage as well because she also has that charge shot that does AoE. So you can basically hit both of them at the same time. So as long as you have about 7:50 to 7:45 on the clock, you should be able to get the free start, no problem. Heck, maybe even like 7:40 to 7:35. Yeah, around that time. So there you have it. Restarts on floor 12 too, and now on to the final chamber. Okay, for the final floor, it's 2 rune guards on the first wave and 2 rune graders on the second wave. One on each side, one on the 9 o'clock and one on the 3 o'clock position. So what you want to do is just basically DPS them down. Like, bring everything that you got, your ults, everything. If you do have the Geo team, in my opinion, the Geo team is the best team for this Spiral Abyss. If you have like Ito, Noel, Zhongli, Albedo, and Goru, like you should have like good time to beat this. So once you take that down, like I said, they will spawn on each side. Just go after one, and the other Rune Guard will do that charge attack on you like that to go close to you. So once they're close to you, just do AoE damage on them. As long as you have about 8:50 to 8:45 on the clock, you should be able to free start this. The main important thing is to hit them together when you're trying to like free start for Spiral Abyss. I know it's sometimes a little bit difficult because sometimes they're separate, but do your best to hit them all at once. Okay, for the final half, it's the Mago Xinqui. He returns once again. You can use some elemental skills to get some particles so you can get your ults, like what I did right there. It takes about 12 seconds for him to get up, so you want to set up for everything. So once he's about at 75% HP, he'll be invulnerable, so you won't be able to hit him because he's going to be using that charge attack move. Right about there. As you can see, you can't really like damage him. So he can teleport. It depends on his mood. But as long as you're in front of him, you should be able to manipulate his teleport. So he'll teleport to the corner right there. But once he's going to do is like charge moves and stuff like that, make sure you have an ult so you can iframe it. So as long as you like are doing combos and stuff like that, you should be able to like take him down quite easily. So I noticed around this HP, his teleport can be a bit trolly. He will teleport in the middle right about now. So it's unfortunate, but we do have enough time on the clock. Just be careful when you're about to use your ult and stuff like that. Just make sure that it's gonna hit. Sometimes when I did it, unfortunately when I ulted, he did teleport and I was pretty unlucky. So just make sure he's doing a move before like he ults instead of like teleporting. And there we go, 9 stars on floor 12. Pretty simple, but it's obviously difficult. So if you're struggling in Spiral Abyss, I recommend bringing separate teams for each floor to counter the enemies. For example, on floor 12's second half, obviously we do have the Pyro Abyss Mage and the Pyro Abyss Lector. So I recommend bringing like Hydro characters like Barbara, Tartaglia, Mona, if you have the luxury of those characters. Obviously we do get Barbara for free, so you should be able to use Barbara's Hydro skill to break the shields, along with destroying the catalyst that the Pyro Abyss Lector drops down. As for floor 12, second chamber, for the first half, if you do have the luxury of having Zhongli, I would bring him, or Diona, or heck, even Toma. As long as you have like a shield character that can reflect the molten lava that the Pyro Geo Bishop summons, you shouldn't have an issue. As for the second half, I recommend bringing a crowd character like Chongyun, Ganyu Ayaka to freeze the Abyss Heralds. And for the final stage, I recommend bringing your strongest DPS for each side because it's basically a DPS check. So as long as like you bring a really good DPS with full support, you shouldn't have an issue. If you do have the luxury of Eula, Eula is very good with the Mongol Xinqui if you do have a super combat team to go with it. Like I said, as long as you have like your talents up to level 7 to 9 with your DPS and your supports, and with good artifacts with like good ratios with your crit rate and crit damage, I believe you can 9-star 412. It might require a little bit of luck, because the enemies do sometimes not obey you. Also, if you do have the Geo team, I recommend bringing it to the first half. The Geo team is obviously Ito, Zhongli, Albedo, and Goru. You can replace Ito with Noelle if you don't have Ito. As for the second half, I would recommend a Cryo/Hydro team, so you can take down the Pyro Abyss Lector and the Pyro Abyss Mage, along with the Abyss Heralds. As long as you have a Hydro character to vaporize, you should be able to like perma-freeze them. Thank you for watching my Cyro Abyss 12 video on the 2.4 patch. If you have any questions or concerns, do leave a comment. I will answer you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.